All right, got 3 boards down, 2 boards to go in our look at the X370 boards. Told you this was going to be a deep well, so stick around. Carbon Talks is here to help. Alright, so like we've done before, not a performance review of the boards in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is just an overall view of the board. Just a look at what the board offers. So we'll get into it. Next up, BioStar's Racing Series X370 GT7. Retailing at $200 US. Again, at first glance, a really nice looking clean board. I like the carbon fiber look on the I/O shield, the audio chipset cover, and the main chipset cover along with the M2 heat shield. The carbon fiber keeps the racing theme going with this board. Now the white lettering here on the I/O shield and the chipset along with these white areas are actually controllable RGB LEDs, allowing for color customization to fit your build. This board has the 24-pin power to the board with only the 8-pin power to the CPU. The one thing I did notice right off is that this board has no shielding on the PCIe 16 slots like the last 3 boards, or on the DIMM slots like the MSI. That may be something to look for when the second revisions come out, and you know that those second revisions will be coming. Memory again is dual channel DDR4 with BioStar limiting the frequency to a mere 2667 MHz. Again, I feel that BioStar may push that to the 3200 range when the second revisions come. For cooling, this board has 3 fan headers here, with 1 CPU fan header and 1 CPU pump header here. This is the only pump header on this board. No mention as to what amp pump this header can handle, so I would err on the side of caution and not put anything bigger than a 1.5 amp pump. Again, that's just me being cautious. Better safe than sorry, right? Before I jump into the internal I/O, I really want to talk about the GT Touch panel here. Not only does it have a power and reset button, but also a sport and eco mode. Sport mode boosts performances automatically, and the eco optimizes energy consumption for those of us who are planet green. Also, you can set the onboard LED as well as the RGB headers for each of these modes. Now, onto the internal I/O. Just below the 24 pin is one of 2 RGB headers. The second one is here. Again, this location is for the RGB CPU fans on the market. Or, if you water cool, it could be used for RGB strips in the top of your case. All the RGB LEDs on the board and the RGB headers can be controlled via BioStar's Vivid LED DJ software. Now on to the 6 SATA 3 ports that are RAID 0110 compatible. Again, sadly no U2 connector on this board. Along the bottom of the board from left to right, we have our front panel power reset LED header, then a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Lightning charger. This header is designed to give your USB charge devices a 75% charge in 30 minutes or less, depending on the starting charge. Nice when your phone is about dead like mine and you need to check on that pizza delivery. As a matter of fact, where is that guy? Anybody seen the pizza guy? Oh well, on we go. Next is another USB 3.1 Gen 1 header followed by 2 USB 2.0 headers. No clear CMOS button, but we do have a clear CMOS header here. And finally, the front audio header. And just in case you were wondering, like I was for a few seconds, this is not a fan header. It is actually the RGB header for the chipset RGB. And I have to be honest, it took me a few seconds to figure that one out. Usually I'm not that slow, but I guess we all have our bad days. PCIe and M2s. Let's start with the M2 since it's here above the PCIe slots. A nice carbon fiber looking M2 cooling shield covering an M2 Gen 3X4 for the 32 gig transfer rate. However, this location only allows for an 80mm length M2 card. There again, me being picky. 2 PCI 3.0 16 slots running, as usual, X16 and X8 respectively. A PCI 2.0 16 running an X4 and 3 PCI 2.0 X1s. Now, the rear I/O is where BioStar disappointed me. I know that these boards are designed to work with the 7th Gen A-Series APUs, and I don't mind the display ports or an HDMI port, but this DVI-D port is a big negative for me. Again, me being picky, but if it's got a display port, HDMI port, I don't need a DVI port. Thank you. Anyway, we also have a PS2 port over 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1s, following that with the USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A and a USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type C connectors. You got your Intel i211 LAN connector over 2 more USB 3.1 Gen 1 connectors. The one optical out with gold-plated audio connectors for 7.1 sound. So really, overall, a fairly decent board, even though I'm real hesitant about the DVI-D on the rear I/O. However, I feel that if BioStar does do a second version of this board, they can really step up their game and make this board a good contender for the higher price boards, maybe. So there you go. There you go. One more board down. One more board to go. Hit the like button if you like what you saw. Leave comments below if you think I could do something different. And please hit that subscribe button. Carbon Talks will be back. Thanks again.